Okay. Hold up. Alright, we're live, boys. Hold up. Just double checking to see if we're live. I think we are. Right. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Alright, boys, we're live. So, BTC took a very sharp tumble from 95,500 all the way to made a low as 91,700. And the timing is very suspicious because this happened this morning, Hong Kong time, 7 a.m. all the way to 8 a.m. This was just before Tokyo Open. However, during these periods was actually the open of the CME futures. So this led me to believe that whatever happened during the weekends has caused institutional investors, major players to unload their BTC bags. Now, namely, this is because of, I think, two key stories. First and foremost, over the weekends, Trump again doing beef with EU. So apparently the EU is readying $93 billion in tariffs in retaliation for Trump's Greenland threat. This is a very hot headline over the weekends, and I think now investors are reacting to that. But also, moreover, the yen is too low. I say go with it. So in this video, we're going to explain what just happened with these two key stories. That way you're in the loop. And also, what are our plans for this week? Because after this drop, it is very important we see BTC above 91K for an upside momentum, a sustained continuation towards 100K. That's what we're really hoping for. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Okay. All right, so over the weekend, reports emerged of Donald Trump's threat to impose 10 to 25% tariffs on 8 EU countries in retaliation for their stance on Greenland-related issues. For example, Denmark's refusal to discuss U.S. territorial claims. So this escalated fears of a broader U.S.-EU trade war, with the EU considering retaliatory tariffs on up to $93 billion in U.S. imports. Additionally, Trump is also announcing a 25% tariff on any country trading with Iran, added to global uncertainties. So with these developments, they've prompted safe haven buying in assets like gold. So this morning, just as BTC dumped from 95K to 91K, we're seeing gold making new all-time highs. How much is gold now at? Oh my God, insane. Same time as well, boys. 7 a.m. gold went from 4,594 to as high as 4,691. This is a new all-time high for gold. Okay, silver as well. I think silver, $92. Oh my lord, $93. Is this the alt? Yup. Just this morning, new all-time high for silver as well. While we're seeing risk assets such as Bitcoin taking a tumble, really bad. So I think the timing, all of this is quite obvious. This is the reaction of namely CME traders, or maybe other institutional investors, whoever the case is. Players with large money have coordinated a dump off of the reaction for these news. Okay, so as of that, the fading derivatives driven rally from the prior week left the market over leveraged, with heavy long positions vulnerable to downside. The initial dip triggered cascading liquidations, wiping out approximately $680 million in long positions, including 200 to 300 million in BTC alone. On-chain data also showed elevated open interest, about $65 to $74 billion in BTC options and futures, and clustered long stops around $93,000 to $94,000. That means the people who had their liquidation level at 93 to 94K completely got wiped out. You'd think they would learn their mistakes from October 10th, but no. Okay, so, and anything else? Yes. Okay, so with broader market correlations and sentiment, it means currently we're in risk-off tone in equities. U.S. stock futures also opened lower, reflecting tariff worries, which spilled into crypto. No major on-chain anomalies, though, were reported specifically for this hour, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Hong Kong time, but the move definitely aligned with weekend thin liquidity. There was not really much movement going on for BTC or any other assets during the weekends. It was just chopping around here. Now, moving on to the second, and I think a much more overlooked news is with Japan. So recently, the US has allowed Japan to intervene in forex markets to counter sharp yen declines. Where we're at right now with yen, let's see. Okay, yen is at a very giga all-time low. All right, but as of now, yen futures has gapped up off of this news from 63 to 63. If you're gonna be looking for a swing play, I think yen could be a potential play here, because the U.S. will be enabling dollar sales to buy yen and lift its value, stemming from investor distrust in the Bank of Japan, driven by unsustainable bond yields. Where we're at right now with the bonds, let's see, 2.24%. That is just way too high. It's unsustainable with the yen, the value of yen being that low. Okay, so all of this has prompted Japan to seek U.S. approval to avoid forex manipulation accusations from Trump. So the resulting USD softening indirectly pressured Bitcoin, priced in dollars as well. So all of these off of the weekend's event. I think Monday open just today. This is why we're seeing Bitcoin dumped aggressively. Okay, so these are basically what happened over the weekends. Now you're caught in the loop. Now let's discuss, what are we planning to do for BTC? Are we still bullish or are we still bearish? So first and foremost, the structure is still intact, right? And I know it looks so messy, but we're still in higher high, higher low territory. We did not take out 89K yet. And in terms of weekly key levels, we are still bullish because last week we've closed above December and first week of January's open close key levels. So as long as this week we continue to defend above 91,500, we get a close above 91,500, preferably with this weekly candle being bullish, and that's great news. Okay, now in terms of further dumps, do we see further dumps? Potentially, yes. I think maybe for this, because this is a CME move, I'm surprised. Like, why didn't they just get it over with? Why didn't they just nuke price to 88K, then reverse back up? Because that was where the 4-hour gap is. So I've seen some people saying, 4-hour gap is not really that much of a big deal. We look at 1-day gap, but still, 4-hour gap is a noteworthy for me. That is essentially the gap that got filled when BTC went to 126K, then sharply declined to 110K, then had a reversal there, right? This was when BTC, everyone was thinking, it's just going to keep going up, but no, it got filled there. So it's the same superstition that I'm having right now for the CME. Let's see where the profile is. So, okay, at least we have retested this entire ranges POC. So which volume profile is this? It's just from the start of the bounce towards the low of 80K back in November. All right, back when BTC hit as low as 80K, we took the volume profile starting point there towards where we're at right now. So it seems the POC have shifted from here, 88K now towards 92K. All right, so if there's going to be another a dump, remember what I said from last week. If we're going to dump towards 88K, we want to expect to see immediate reversal and acceptance above 92K, then continue on further. All right, but as of now, nothing to worry about. I think we have said in Thursday and Friday, yes, this is bullish. We're looking to buy, we're looking to long, but I did also said that you have to beware of the CME gap. Yeah. So whole basis of being cautiously optimistic for BTC. So that's the plan for BTC for this week. Okay, it's imperative we defend 91,500 because this is the weekly open close here. Okay, BTC for the week of 29th of December all the way to 5th of January, price did very well, closed there. Then the week between January 5th and January 12th, okay, price closed bearish but held pretty well. It closed around $90,900. Then last week opened there, closed above these. So this is also one of the entry models that I talked about where you have a body closing above a key level and you look for retest there, then continuation on upwards. Okay, so that's for BTC. Then for USDT dominance, however, is slightly worrying because now it's come back up again towards 6%. Okay, it's come back up towards 6%. Let's see. However, it's still lower high, lower low for USDT dominance. It didn't even come back towards these gray box. So I'm hoping for this week for USDT dominance will continue to grind down. Hopefully this is just an extreme lower high, but hopefully this week or next week we continue to see USDT dominance drop as BTC's price go up. Okay, so we want to see immediate rejection here. Right, so this was the level that USDT dominance broke that led me to believe it's very bullish for BTC. So right now I did say 50% pullback, but currently we are pulling back more than 50%, but it's a pretty long wick. Let's see how today and tomorrow goes. All right, how y'all doing? Shorty Yang, Mr. DC's here. Protolist exactly as predicted. Yup. So that's the plan. Okay, that's the plan for BTC. Still bullish otherwise unless proven. Okay, so if this week we close below that key level, wait, if this week we close below 91,500, then we're just gonna be chopping here until further notice. Okay, but if we get a bullish close this week, because notice this is Monday, yeah, we don't have a top wick yet. How often do you see a weekly candle without top or bottom wicks? So for sure we're gonna see 93,000, and plus I think that's gonna be the gap on the 4-hour, I think, on the CME. But yeah, will the US market dump further still or just a gentle pullback? No idea, but definitely this is CME led, or because like when CME futures happened, that's when the dump happened. Yeah, 7 a.m. Hong Kong time. BTC futures on the CME. It's not a coincidence. This is definitely from institutions. Here's okay, 7 a.m. right? Then until 8 a.m. It's not even like it's not even Tokyo market open yet. It was just CME futures. So at least we know where the dump came from the CME futures side. It's not a coincidence, boys, that when CME futures opened, you had that dump. Okay, let's dump him. Okay, so that's the plan for now. And in any case, we've overextended and from 95,000 to 91,000. Let's actually see. Yeah, you didn't even get that 50% pullback from there. Not even here. So, yep, 93,000. This will get filled. But more importantly, what's going to happen if BTC comes to fill 50% of this move? Can it continue higher? That's the bull case. Base case is we'll range here. That's what we hope to see at the very least. Bear case is come here, retest, come down. Then that means USDT dominance except above 6%. That's not what we want to see. boys. Okay? Yeah. Institution. All right, so that's a quick update on you guys, for you guys, on what happened. Man. 2 key stories, okay? It's the tariff, the EU retaliatory tariff on Trump's Greenland threat. That's nearly $100 billion worth of tariff. That's a lot. And then you also have the US essentially allowing Japan to intervene with the USD JPY pair, because USD JPY pair is just way too high now. It's not above 160, but you can see this compared to yen futures. Yen has gapped up really high, but that is a big wick there. So overall, I think yen over the long run, this is definitely maybe not definitely, but this is a solid bottom. This is a solid bottom for yen. So all right, boys, take good care of yourselves. We'll see you later. All right, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel. My name is Ron. Sean and out.